extract from his appearance. The appearance of Jesus has got 5 dimensions. The 5 dimensions of the appearance of Jesus you must extract. Number 1, from the atmosphere, from his word, from his glory, and from encounters. You must learn how to extract the presence of Jesus in his appearance. The 5 dimensions of Jesus. When Jesus appears, there are 5 dimensions you must extract from his presence. When Jesus appears, there are 5 dimensions you must extract from his appearance. 5 dimensions of Jesus you must extract from him, from his appearance, all the way into your system, your mantle. A mantle, it is a system. It is a setup inside of you. The Bible says the moment Daniel set up himself to pray, God answered. Not before the prayer there was a setup. That's a mantle now. You set up a mantle. A mantle, it is a system. So the 5 dimensions of the appearance of Jesus you must extract. Number 1, it is the presence of Jesus. You must extract the presence of Jesus from his appearance. When Jesus appears as the light, when he appears as the fire, when he appears in his glory, there are levels of his glory, dimensions of how he appears. So your understanding, it begins to extract the presence of God, the presence of Jesus from his appearance. Then you begin to encounter that presence out of his appearance. When Jesus appeared to Peter for the first time, the Bible says they caught nothing the whole night. They had no fish the whole night. The Bible says when Jesus appeared, they didn't know who he was. They didn't know Jesus until he spoke to them. So they had the appearance of Jesus. Jesus appeared to Peter when he had nothing to catch. He caught nothing that night with his friends. When Jesus appeared, 2 things happened. Peter extracted something or an encounter from the appearance of Jesus. How did he extract the presence of God from the appearance of Jesus? Because he was just a normal, ordinary, noble man, Jesus. He appeared, but how Peter acknowledged Jesus extracted the presence of God, the Christ, from Jesus. And Jesus was attracted to that acknowledgement because faith is attracted to Jesus. Whenever you acknowledge Jesus first, that's the first phase of attracting the presence of God, the presence of Jesus, because the Father and Jesus, the Son, are one. So it is acknowledging Jesus, acknowledging him. When you know in your weakness, you acknowledge him. That's number 1 of extraction. Number 2, the voice of Jesus. After Peter acknowledged Jesus, remember, then they engaged into a conversation, because spirits, they transfer of spiritual material substances from one dimension of the spirit into another dimension of the spirit. It is done through conversation. It is done through discussion. So spirits exchange, or they trade. The trading principle of spirits, it is talking. That's why whenever Jesus appeared to people, when they acknowledged him, he engaged into a conversation, a deep talk with them. So when Jesus appeared, he was acknowledged, and he established his presence upon Peter and his disciples. Then they acknowledged him. Jesus released a word, an instruction on how they were supposed to catch the fish after they explained their problem, their hardship, their situation, their condition. And Jesus gave an instruction after the conversation. How Peter acknowledged Jesus attracted a miracle and a wonder through hardship. A situation that is hard produces a wonder when you acknowledge Jesus. Number two, we are still dealing with the voice and the word of Jesus. Jesus had the conversation when Lazarus died. Jesus had the conversation with Mary. He said, if you would believe, you would see the glory of God. So when Jesus reached the tomb, the appearance of Jesus, the presence of Jesus was already established upon Martha, because Martha was the chosen medium through which God used to extract the presence concerning Lazarus' situation. So Mary extracted the presence and the power of Jesus when they engaged into a conversation. He didn't say to everyone to say, if you believe, but he said to Mary to say, if you believe, you are going to see the glory of God. That was the game changer. That was the beginning of a miracle. So when they reached the tomb, he looked at her again and reminded her of what they had traded in the spiritual realms to bring into the natural, from the supernatural into the natural. And the Bible says Jesus spoke to the tomb. He called out Lazarus out of the tomb. He called Lazarus out of the tomb by a word and a voice. That's another dimension of how you extract the power of Jesus in your situation. Number two situation of the centurion officer concerning his servant. He's just said, you don't have to come to my home. You just have to speak a word and my servant will be healed. Because the word of Jesus, it carries and it contains power. Number three dimension of Jesus, it is the hand of Jesus. Your testimony, how you know Jesus, how you display the presence of Jesus, it is how your testimony will extract the power of Jesus. So another dimension of how you extract the power of Jesus through his hand, it is the testimony. Some, they know him as a healer. He heals by his hand, his voice, and his presence. So some, they know to say, if only Jesus touches me, I will be healed. Some, they knew in the Bible to say, if only Jesus touches me, my situation will change. And definitely it worked out for them, because testimony, the testimony of how they displayed Jesus in their spirit, determined how they were going to receive and extract the glory from Jesus, which is the power of Jesus to work for them. We are looking at situations where Jesus only touched the people and they were healed. Laid his hands on the sick, laid his hands on the blind and they were able to see. Touched the coffin and the dead girl resurrected. That's another dimension of Jesus, the third dimension of Jesus. It is the hand of Jesus, or the touch of Jesus. Now, in this situation, there are two things involved. It is either Jesus touches you or you touch him. When Jesus comes to you to touch you, it means he is operating. You are operating in the season and the timing of God. But when you break through certain engagements, hardships, to go and touch Jesus, when it is not yet your season, that's when you engage into that realm where you touch Jesus. Just like the woman with the issue of blood, it was not her season for her to be healed. It was the season of the girl who was dead. So Jesus was minding his own business when he was passing. He was going somewhere to go and heal where he was invited. And along the way, the woman heard that Jesus was passing. She had to reach out. Her testimony, how she knew Jesus, she went ahead and touched the garment of Jesus and she was healed. That's another dimension of how you attract, how you extract the power of Jesus. Number 4, the feet of Jesus. The feet of Jesus, how you attract or how you extract the power of Jesus. It is the move of Jesus, which is called the feet of Jesus, or the move of Jesus. When Jesus begins to walk in your situation, the Bible says there was a storm when Jesus walked on water. The Bible says he just walked on water, and the storms, the seas, the raging storms, they had to obey. There was calmness there after Jesus walked in that situation. He walked on water, and the situation was never the same. We are looking at certain situations where Jesus was just moving, was just passing, and the people would get healed. This is a dimension where you can use what you know about Jesus. Jesus only needs to walk in your situation. Jesus only needs to walk in your vineyard, in your harvest field, for your harvest to come back to life. The move of Jesus. Number 5, it is the realm, the most sensitive realm. It is called the investment of Jesus. Remember, when Jesus met Peter, after the miracle, they saw the miracle, they worshipped Jesus at his feet. They worshipped Jesus. The Bible says Jesus told them, "Follow me. I will make you the fisher of men." That was the investment of Jesus. There is a power of Jesus you can only extract by following him, by carrying the cross, by being his disciple or being his follower. This is a realm where it does not come right there or overnight. No, it comes through service. It comes through submission to God. It comes through faithfulness in his house. It comes through years of worship, years of prayer, years of laboring in prayer, laboring in the works of God. It comes in form of it is something that sets you up for a miracle. It is something that builds a system of God in you, the mantle in you. It does not, the mantle, God does not build a mantle in you overnight. No, it is a lifetime set up. It is a lifetime construction of God inside of you. It is a lifetime investment of God in you. God investing in you, God investing in your weakness, God investing in your imperfections, God investing his righteousness in you, holiness in you, his power in you. That's the investment of God. That's the investment of Jesus. This only happens when you become the follower, the disciple. That's why most of the times we're looking at situations where Jesus, most of the disciples, after having a lot of them, many of them left him and they remained with the 12. The 12, he invested in them, and he said, "To you, the kingdom of heaven, the keys of the kingdom of heaven, they have been granted to you," because he invested much in them, and much was required from them. And from those he requires much, he puts glory, grace, and everything upon them. These are the 5 dimensions of Jesus. These are the 5 dimensions of how you extract the glory of Jesus in your situation. Prophet Prince Michael is